In April of 2016, a single leak shook the foundations of global power. It wasn't a bomb, it wasn't an assassination, it was information. 11.5 million confidential documents leaked from a law firm in Panama revealed how presidents, billionaires, celebrities, and criminals quietly moved their fortunes through an invisible financial system. They called it the Panama Papers. This wasn't just about money, it was about power, it was about secrecy, and it was about the shocking realization that while ordinary people paid their taxes, the world's most powerful were playing by a completely different set of rules. Chapter 1. The leak that shook the world. The story begins with a message to a German journalist at Süddeutsche Zeitung. The sender's name was unknown, their identity hidden, but their message was simple. I want to make the world a better place. My life is in danger, but here are the documents. That anonymous whistleblower would later be known only as John Doe. What John Doe handed over was unprecedented. Millions of files from Mossack Fonseca, a Panamanian law firm whose specialty was setting up secret offshore companies. But these weren't just for a handful of wealthy clients. This was global. Heads of state, Fortune 500 companies, celebrities, drug cartels. The leak was so massive, Süddeutsche Zeitung couldn't handle it alone. They brought in the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, the ICIJ, who coordinated more than 370 reporters in 80 countries. This was the largest collaborative investigation in the history of journalism. Chapter 2, The Secret World of Offshore. To understand why this matters, we need to pause. What exactly is an offshore company? In theory, it's just a company registered in a foreign jurisdiction, perfectly legal. They're often created in places like the British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, or in this case, Panama. But here's the catch. These jurisdictions are built on secrecy. They don't ask who really owns the company. They don't care where the money comes from. And they don't share information with foreign tax authorities. This means that through a maze of shell companies and trusts, you can hide your wealth from prying eyes. It might be legal, but it's also the perfect tool for tax evasion, money laundering, bribery, and hiding stolen assets. The Panama Papers exposed this shadow economy in a way the world had never seen before. Chapter 3, the powerful named. And then the names began to drop. In Iceland, the Prime Minister Sigmundur David Gunnlaugsson was revealed to have hidden millions in offshore accounts. Within days, tens of thousands of Icelanders filled the streets of Reykjavik. It was the largest protest in the country's history. He was forced to resign. In Pakistan, documents linked Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's family to luxury London apartments. After months of legal battles, Pakistan's Supreme Court disqualified him from office. In Russia, the leak revealed a $2 billion network tied to Vladimir Putin's closest friends, a web of offshore deals that enriched his inner circle. In Argentina, then-President Mauricio Macri was implicated. In Saudi Arabia, King Salman appeared in the files. Even celebrities weren't immune. Lionel Messi, already under investigation for tax fraud in Spain, had his offshore dealings laid bare. FIFA officials, already engulfed in scandal, were caught moving money through shell companies. And it didn't stop there. From Africa to Asia, from Europe to the Americas. Politicians, dictators, billionaires, all tied to Mossack Fonseca. The scope was breathtaking. Chapter 4, Fallout and Resistance. The consequences were immediate. Governments scrambled to respond. Some promised reforms. Others attacked the journalists. In Malta, investigative reporter Daphne Caruana Galizia pursued the story fearlessly, exposing corruption linked to the Panama Papers. In 2017, a car bomb killed her outside her home. Her assassination sent a chilling message, exposing the truth can cost your life. Mossack Fonseca, the law firm at the center of it all, collapsed under the weight of investigations. Its founders were arrested, their offices raided, but the offshore industry itself? It carried on. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Mossack Fonseca wasn't unique. It was just one of many firms offering the same services. The Panama Papers simply pulled back the curtain. Chapter 5, The Human Drama. At the heart of the scandal were human stories. Ordinary citizens who realized their leaders were siphoning money abroad while public services crumbled at home. Doctors in underfunded hospitals. Teachers striking over unpaid wages. Communities left in poverty while billions sat hidden in offshore accounts. In Iceland, people felt betrayed. In Pakistan, protesters shouted for accountability. In Malta, people marched for justice after Galicia's murder. The Panama Papers wasn't just a financial scandal, it was a moral scandal. Proof that the global elite were insulated from the rules everyone else had to live by. Chapter 6. Did anything change? So what happened after the war knew? Some governments tightened regulations. The European Union created blacklists of tax havens. Banks faced more scrutiny, but did the system fundamentally change? Not really. In 2021, the Pandora Papers, another massive leak, revealed that world leaders were still using offshore havens. The same techniques, the same secrecy, the same impunity. The truth is, as long as there are places willing to sell secrecy, and as long as the wealthy can afford armies of lawyers and accountants, the offshore world will survive. Chapter 7. Reflections. The Panama Papers showed us something profound. That corruption is not the exception. It is the system. It showed us how inequality is entrenched not just by laws, but by loopholes. How democracies can be undermined by hidden flows of money, and how fragile truth becomes when those who expose it are silenced. In the end, John Doe, the whistleblower, remained anonymous. They released a manifesto explaining they acted because income inequality is one of the defining issues of our time. And then they disappeared. Their leak toppled governments. It destroyed careers. It even cost lives. But it also forced the world to confront a question we still haven't answered. Should the powerful play by different rules? The Panama Papers wasn't just the biggest financial leak in history. It was a mirror. A mirror held up to the face of power, showing us exactly what it looks like when secrecy, wealth, and politics collide. The real question is, now that we've seen it, what will we do about it?